The instability in Gauteng metros continues, and now the leader of the Patriotic Alliance and the mayor of the Central Karoo District, Gayton McKenzie, has thrown his hat into the ring to become the next City of Johannesburg Mayor. After a DA-led coalition was ousted in Johannesburg, the ANC and EFF, amongst others, worked together to have a member of the Jama-ah party, Tapelo Ahmad, placed in the post of executive mayor. But ActionSA has now warned that he is not fit to lead, and they will bring a motion of no confidence against him. To discuss, we're joined by political analyst Lukhanyo Vangqua. Thank you for being with us, Lukhanyo. Firstly, let's start with the mayor who's in place right now. One of the recent controversies around him was an interview with my colleague here at SABC News, Sakina Kamwendo, where he spoke about a huge loan. The details were blurry. He didn't seem to understand them. And the rest of the officials saying they don't know much about that deal. Objectively, should he go?
Good evening, Francis. Thank you for inviting me today. I don't believe any calls for the mayor to go or to resign or to face a motion of no confidence would be justified at this present juncture. I don't think there's enough to substantiate a charge of incompetence. I don't think he's also faced any of the serious allegations that have sort of disqualified other prospective mayors before, issues of corruption, malfeasance, and items like that. His only challenge or his only crime, Francis, seems to be the fact that he was tongue-tied in an interview with a formidable interviewer like Sakina Kamwendo that you referred to here. And also, I think we're a bit unfair on him because he said he had just the previous day before the interview secured a prospect of a 9.5 billion rand loan, but that was simply a prospect, and it was the day before, and I don't believe that the MEC of Finance or any of the other city officials would be properly appraised of that prospect, and it would not be a substantiated loan as well, because it was simply a prospect that he had secured in an interview the day before. So I don't think that we are being fair on the mayor. He's new in that position. He's barely been there for about 3 months, so he's still within his probation period, and I think we should be given the opportunity to prove himself in that position. He's young, he's black, I think he's talented, he's energetic, he's passionate about issues of governance, he's passionate about his community, he comes from Soweto, so he's passionate about issues of Johannesburg, and I think he should be given the opportunity to see out his term, or at least prove himself in that position.
All right. However, nonetheless, there is maneuvering going on, and the Patriotic Alliance, let's talk about them. They've been in alliance with the ANC, where they do govern. Now, the ANC helped Tapelo Ahmad into power in Joburg, so PA switching sides, moving away from the ANC towards ActionSA. Is this a clear break between the PA and the ANC that is happening right now?
I don't believe so, Francis. The PA has always been transactional in the way that it does these coalition agreements. For an example, it is in alliance or in coalition agreements with the DA in certain municipalities, especially in the Western Cape, but in some other municipalities, it is also in alliance with the ANC. And even in Ekurhuleni, the way that they work, they jump from this coalition partners to that coalition partner based on what position they can be able to get and what value they can get, they can extract from those coalition agreements. So I think the PA has a simply transactional policy with regards to coalition agreements and what coalitions they get into. And I don't think they have any principled objections to the ANC. Or any principled objections to the DA. It's simply what's in it for the PA, and I think at this particular juncture they don't see any value for themselves coming from this coalition agreements. I think they can see that the bigger prize, that of the seat of mayor, is within its grasp, and that's why it's making a play for that position with Gayton McKenzie availing himself to become the mayor of the city of Johannesburg. And I think that's the reason why they're breaking away from the ANC, not for any principled objections to how the ANC governs.
All right, interesting. Where does this leave the DA? The former mayor was in Palatse. There was that multi-party coalition. Essentially, that could be back in power now with the help of the PA, but they would have to accept a PA mayor.
Yes, so the PA is going to go to these coalition partners and extract maximum value that they can get for themselves. And I don't know if that's the proper way of doing politics or of leading. We need a values-based leadership that is going to be able to cement some of the stability within these coalition agreements. Because if you have a certain set of values, certain set of principles that bind these political parties together, then I think that sort of agreement has a longer lifespan, has longevity, as opposed to what you can get in a transaction today, because you can be made a better offer tomorrow and you'll jump ship and go on to that coalition, and that causes instability, and that is not in the best interest of the people that the PA represents, and also for the residents of these municipalities in which they enter into coalition agreements. So I don't think I agree with the way that the PA does things. They need to have a more values-based approach to the way in which they negotiate their coalition agreements.
All right, so you're saying in finality the PA is transactional, but does that come along with some service delivery at least? When Gayton McKenzie was elected as mayor last year, firstly he said he would only be mayor for a year, but he also made many claims about what he would do for the Central Karoo. How has he fared actually as a mayor a year on?
I think actually, Francis, it does come with some benefits to service delivery, and it's not because of the transactional politics. Those ones are undesirable. But where we get or we extract this sort of service delivery that is quickened by the arrival of new players is because now they don't have the sins of incumbency. They are not as complacent as their other political players. They are in a hurry to prove themselves. They need to show that they can be able to change things around. They don't have the the trappings of governmental protocols, bureaucracy, and all of those things. And you saw that with Gayton McKenzie when he was at the Central Karoo. He was operating almost outside of the bureaucracy of government in there so that he could be able to deliver on some of the promises that he had made to the people of the Central Karoo, the issue of flushing toilets, eradication of pit latrines, paying of Eskom debt. I think he paid about 60 million with regards to that. So he had quite a successful year, but he ran his year as a mayor sort of as a project management approach, because he needed to deliver on his promises, and he wasn't going to allow the bureaucracy of government to be able to slow him down on those bases. As a result, he was able to quicken service delivery. But there's also negative aspects regards to that, Francis, as well, because you fall foul of the Municipal Finance Management Act, you fall foul on some of the good governance that are required, policies that are required to ensure that we have clean governance, that we don't have corruption, and that there's longevity in municipalities. So yes, they do bring a certain vigor and renewed energy, Francis. I will concede to that.
All right, well, thank you for looking at the good and bad, and it'll be fascinating how this plays out. Could we see the moving of the deck chairs again in Joburg? Could we see Gayton McKenzie from the PA as mayor? That was political analyst Lukhanyo Vangqua.